We don't speak ill today. Hope you won't be offended by the things that are said. Playing devil's advocate, and now I'm here to judge you. That's what your true thoughts you will spread out to love you. Everybody's listening, nobody's tripping. This life's too crazy, everybody's flipping. This life's so crazy, run and tell your friends. You on the right side, there's no need to pretend. It's an open forum, never done before. It's a future, listen, this is a no cousin, Duke, the left, submit, no bugging. No extra charge, just switch for free buzzing. We don't really care if you're right or you're wrong. Just tune into Miss KiKi, whichever time it's on.
Hey, Miss KiKi, it's time to play. It's time to play. Devil's advocate. Hey, Miss KiKi, it's PDA. It's time to play. Devil's advocate.
I think a little something like this. Hit it!
At some point, you will be offended by something said on this show, but playing devil's advocate is meant to be a forum for open, honest, and more importantly, judgment-free dialogue. The opinions expressed here may not necessarily be those of the host or of the show in general, but we're willing to have the uncomfortable conversations so that we can heal and find solutions for our listeners and quite possibly even ourselves. Enjoy the show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur, and for the next 120 minutes, we are going to edutain you. That means for the next 2 hours, sit back, relax, and enjoy edutainment, which is entertainment and education, all in one. I can't say which the emphasis is going to be on tonight, but you never can tell. Before we can get into that show, I need to do a little bit of the light housekeeping by letting you know if this is your first time watching us, we're here each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. on the East Coast. If you miss the live broadcast, you know you can always come back here to our YouTube channel and watch it again. Also, we have an interactive chat room, so you can come on over there. I'm sure my people will be filing in momentarily so that they can chop it up with you, have a good time with you in there. And also, we are fully interactive, so you can send us tweets throughout the show at PDA_Miss KiKi. That's PDA_MSKIKI. So make sure that you follow us and tweet us. Or you can post our Facebook wall at facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate. And if that's not enough, you can always go to my website, KiKiRichardson.com, and there you'll be able to purchase a copy of my book, The Other Woman Code of Conduct, What Every Other Woman Should Know, and Men Too. Yep. Don't judge a book by its cover, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Right there on KiKiRichardson.com, you can purchase a copy of that book, listen to any of our archive shows when we were just audio, and you can also purchase merchandise, your PDA hat, T-shirt. Actually, I got a request for a shirt today. We'll talk about that in just a second. But you can do all of that on KiKiRichardson.com. Also, you can get a copy of the book on Amazon, iTunes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And without any further ado, I need to bring in my cast of crew that's going to ride shotgun with me this week. It is an open forum. That means anything goes. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about it, period, point blank. Some of you guys have already sent in your suggestions and things that you want to hear us talk about, and y'all a mess. That's all I can say. Y'all are a mess. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, she hails from my hometown, the Windy City. She is a fallen angel, and she fell from grace for coining phrases like lube is for amateurs. Now, that's from a preacher's daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me into welcoming the show, Miss Sporty Spunky Angel. Hey, girl.
Hello. How are you?
I am wonderful. I cannot complain, and if I did, nobody would give a rat's ass, so why bother, right?
There we go. I'm with that.
Next up, let me bring in your partner in crime. Next up, he is since you're our resident horn dog on the show, he's our resident testosterone. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming the male voice of the show. He is an entrepreneur. I should say an entrepreneur. He is a author, a motivational speaker. He does it all. And 40. I'm hearing an echo from you, so whatever you're doing up there, knock it off. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me. I think that's Chan, actually. Please help me in welcoming Mr. Rob Carter the Fourth.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Rob?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm going to send y'all some new music for me, and we could just cut it to Rob Carter, because all the rest of them dead. So I'm the only one that matters just left.
Wow, wow, really,
Yeah.
really?
That just makes it tough for folks. He's the what? The fourth, the fifth, the ninth. So
I think it sounds rather distinguished.
it is distinguished, but I'm I've fallen from those graces.
You're not gonna be distinguished here. You'll be distinguished out in the streets. Okay, I get it.
Well, keep the V part.
Like
I
why
think
waste
I've fallen from those distinguished ranks. You know what I'm saying?
All right, right. Why waste your distinguishedness on us?
No, not with you. I ain't even saying that. I'm just saying
Family. So I ain't gotta waste it on you. So Rob Carter it is. I forgot. It's
You gotta keep the V part though.
Right, the Rob Carter.
Yeah, definitely the Rob Carter, because they got them other fronters, out there. Like the dude, my biggest obstacle is the president of FedEx, got his name Rob Carter. So I'm trying to weed through him on the Google search. So that's why you need Rob Carter.
That is going to be hard to fight that on the rankings, huh?
Yeah,
we got to talk about meta tags so we can get you, how you going to beat a meta tag for FedEx? But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. I'm sure if any listeners know how to do that, holla at us.
Yeah, holla at me,
Yeah, holla at us. Tonight's show is open forum, like I said. Our listeners come up with the ideas. Our viewers come up with the ideas. We're talking about what they want to talk about. So it doesn't matter if it's current events, politics, sports, relationships, sex, religion, whatever it is, nothing is off limits. We are pulling no punches. We are not taking any prisoners. We're not holding anything back. We're uncensored, we're unscripted, and we are unapologetic. So deal with that. I kind of want to jump out the gate with one, but I'm gonna pump my brakes. Any one of y'all has something that's pressing that you want to get off your chest right away?
No, I'm ready for you. It seems like you ready to jump out. Let's jump out.
You like, go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
That's exciting. I don't need you to hold off. You might not,
Okay. Here's something we were having a conversation about a little earlier, and it got a little, not necessarily heated, but we had some very interesting point of views and perspectives in terms of it. I've often said that everybody, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And I mean, in the conversation, I meant that in terms of just because you can have kids doesn't mean that you should, right? Everybody is not fit or equipped, emotionally, mentally, whatever, to have children, right? And so I've said on many occasions, shit, they make you get a driver's license to drive a car. They make you get a license for this. They make you have a certification for that. You got to get this. Why don't they do something like that for people to have kids? And if your ass can't do it, then your ass ain't allowed to have kids, because I think it's unfair that other motherfuckers got to foot the bill for motherfuckers who kids they ain't taking care of. You know what I mean? I'll use this for example. You got 4 kids already, and 4 different people taking care of your kid, and you go out and have a 5th kid. At what point shouldn't the state say, you know what, we're gonna sterilize you, because clearly you a mess? And I'll say I knew a situation where a lady had 3 kids. Her 3rd kid ended up dead, right? And the reason she didn't end up going to jail was because they said it was some mental illness, right? So she ended up pretty much getting nothing and ended up having like 8 more fucking kids. So my point is, if you don't put her in jail for killing the one kid, for her to turn around and have 8 more, what the fuck? At what point is enough enough? And she ain't take care of none of her kids. None of them. At what point? I think that at some point somebody needs to intercede and be like, no, let's snip, snip, burn, twist, whatever.
I mean, I don't know what Sporty's gonna say, but I get it. But then, you know, of course, the controversy. I mean, they do it with dogs and cats and everything else. You know, they make you spay them and neuter, especially if they're not, you know, if in the pound or if they know, you know. I mean, your situation is noted because they do it already. It's just, where do we cross the line from? And I get it too, because I mean, so where do you cross the line for humans, and when do their rights, their constitutional rights, start to conflict? You know what I'm saying? With
losing your rights every time you sit up and hear you pop out a kid that you ain't taking care of, and somebody else is footing the bill.
No, I get that.
Or you take a life of a child, a living child. I'm not talking about abortion. I'm talking about an actual human being that has grown and you killed them, and it's because you know you're not all there. So why are we still allowing you to have kids?
Well, it's the same with abortion. This is a problem I have with the abortion laws.
That's a whole nother conversation. Abortion.
But it's the same point, because now you're doing the reverse. So society won't take the initiative to sterilize somebody who is misabusing the situation, but then they will take a stance and almost want to penalize, or they're trying to deal with folks that want to make a decision. You see what I'm saying?
I get it. We're going to talk about abortion just after that, because that was something that I wanted to talk about, so we can segue into that right after we hear what Sporty has to say, because she's about to bite her lip off. She going to chew her own face off. Go ahead, Sporty.
Can we do my PDA letter?
Not now?
You're talking about it. You're going to have to revisit this at the letter.
Okay, that's fine.
It's the letter.
Okay. We can revisit it around the letter. Well then let's just, you know what? Let's stick a pin in it and let's move on to abortion. How about that? You want to do that? We'll stick a pin in it.
We're going to open this back up, huh?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, we're going to come back to it for the letter. But, okay, abortion. Pro or against it?
I'm for it. If you can't fucking take care of the kids, swallow them.
Got it? Okay, leave.
Yeah. That the visual on that was kind of barbaric, but cannibalistic. But okay, it's like have it and eat it up. No. That's now we talk about the world going to Mad Max. That's anyway. No, I believe that. If you know that I'm at what point is a life kind of thing, if you know, you should know, and I got no problem with abortion right away, because all you're gonna do is bring a miserable life in if you can't handle it, or if you can't take care of it, and you might be able to, but I get that, but then later on, once things start to grow, then there's the other argument. Who was that kid? You didn't give him a shot.
Yeah, I think late-term abortions I have a problem with, like you're saying. Late-term abortions I do have a problem with. Early on, when they're pretty much nothing there but a bunch of cells and stuff. Yeah, okay, I get that. But when they start getting arms and legs and shit, and other organs starting to. It's like, that's the actual fucking person right there now. You know what I mean? And I think I'm for abortion. Look, I'm all for it. If there's something that an option for you to do something to change the trajectory of a decision that you made, then fine. Fuck, they put erasers on pencils, right? So why the fuck can't I undo this one? You know what I mean? It's like, people kill me trying to tell other people what to do when they know they're not in a position to fix the shit that's going to happen after that. I hear all these men trying to tell women about what they should do with their bodies, and they ain't never got to carry a baby ever, not once, get one goddamn contraction, push not one goddamn time, get one damn stretch mark, none of that shit. So for me, it's just interesting that people are so adamant about, oh, no, 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 no abortions, no abortions. Okay, well then, are you against birth control too? Any, you know what I mean? The damn Pope that just, came out since he's been the Pope talking about, he ain't really got too much of a problem with birth control. But the Catholic Church historically has had a problem with birth control.
Yeah. I like dude.
I do like Pope Francis. Frank is the shit.
He is all right with me.
Pope Frankie is the shit. Yeah, he is. Because he's living in the real life. He's living in the right now. It's like, look, this is what we're dealing with. Now, there's a way where we can still be, he's not so pious that he's not clear about what's happening in the real world. He's like, okay, I get it. All right, how can we rock this? Well, we're still following this, but we're also serving the needs of the people, because that's what the purpose of religion is for in the first place. Dang, we done went down 5 different rabbit holes just now.
Rabbit hole number 6 is, I think he's smashing the nuns too.
Yeah, well,
I don't know about that.
But back to the abortion issue and the people that have issues with it. I just want to add, when a woman makes a decision to have an abortion, and I know all these moral issues are out and whatever these people are dealing with that aren't in that person's situation, and most of the time it's people that can't relate. Just like most of the people talking about, all this, the black crime and this, that, and the other. These are all people that can't, they're so detached from the situation they can't empathize with what's going on. And that's why most of these activist groups, it's just all fucked up. Anyway, the woman who makes that decision, she has enough of a burden to carry anyway, with her when she does that. So to be strong enough to make a decision that says, hey, I know that this is not going to be the best thing for me or this child, so I'm going to do this. I mean, folks need to get off these folks' back and allow people to make, because they got to carry the weight of that. It's their life. So you let them make the decision they need to best for their best course. And they have to live with that, and they have to keep going. But
one of the things, all I was going to say was that, in you saying that, it's different each time you're even faced with that type of situation, because, for instance, at 18 years old, I find out I'm pregnant. I'm a straight A student. I have a scholarship to Harvard University, and I'm pregnant with the child. I got pressure from my family. And they're like, my mom sends money from New York, from where she is, go have this abortion. So I'm like, I don't want to have an abortion. I'm scared, but I can't go to Cambridge, pregnant with a baby and go to college, blah, blah. So I go to this abortion clinic to have this, abortion for my son. And I'm literally on the table about to have it. And I'm like, stop. And I couldn't go through with it. Mm-hmm. Not that I didn't want to, not have the abortion, but I was just afraid to do it. After seeing what the process was and what they were getting ready to do to me, I've never been through any shit like that. So I was like, look, I'm just going to wind up with a baby. I got to go back home and tell my family now I'm pregnant. I'm still going to go to school, but, I got a kid.
Right.
So I wind up having my son.
But that's my point. That's my point. Nobody can walk in your shoes, and most people, would have pushed. If you just talk about how people push people that aren't in their situation, they would have pushed you through that because there were so many opportunities, and your life could have turned out so much different as what people were going to push in your head. If you do this, but these are your personal decisions, and you got to live with them. And the only way to be comfortable with it, is to make it, because if the world starts to make it, if society starts to make it for you, now I'm carrying guilt for what you imposed on me. You know what I mean? And that, I got a problem with that. So that's why these activist communities need to start sitting back and letting folks do their own shit. You know what I mean? It ain't your responsibility to police my life as long as my life is in the realm of what I'm dealing with. So anyway, I'm sorry. That's my piece.
I think that sometimes the expectation is unrealistic. I think a lot, I say a lot of times, live your life realistically, not idealistically. If this was a utopia and everything like that commercial and everything was just like perfect, I think it was an Allstate or something State Farm commercial. What would you do? Yeah. if there were no such thing as bad, and everything was good. It's like, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where people have to make hard choices and tough decisions every single day. And the decision to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I know I can only imagine what's ahead of me because I don't know, but I'm willing to take that chance than to do this. It's a lot, it's a lot that goes into that. And I don't think people consider other people's position, their other state. They get so on their high horse and they're like, you should be like this and you should be like that and you should be like this.
Right.
And all people who do that, I really am like, fuck you. Because those are the people who are the most fucked up and have the most bullshit on the same thing. He doth protest too much. You know what I mean? It's like everybody was having a problem with gay marriage until senators and everybody was finding out that their fucking sons and shit was gay. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, I had to change your heart. Oh, no. You wanted to line their asses up and shoot them. Now, it's all fun and games until it hits your demographic.
Now it's the norm. Now it's
right.
Okay.
It's, no, I don't believe in abortion. But guess what? Your daughter had one, now what? You know what I'm saying? It's like you sit up here pointing the finger and saying what people shouldn't do, and you doing it, or the people close to you doing it. It's just interesting to me. Anyway. Go ahead, Sporty. You can bring up some. I had to get that off my chest, y'all.
Well, no, I totally get it because it's something to behold, to be faced with that situation because, one moment you might do it, the next moment you might not. So it just depends. One of the things today, what in the hell is wrong with people who cannot drive? And I know coming from a woman, this going to sound crazy, but females cannot drive. Oh my God. They are horrible.
My daddy
females
used to say
and cab drivers.
My daddy used to say that, every time there was something that was going on, it was an accident, or somebody was driving stupid, he'd be like, oh, woman driver. And I used to get so upset, Daddy, don't say that, that's not nice. Until I started driving. And then I was like, what is it? Why can't you parallel park? It's like 8 car lengths long and you got to back out and pull out 7 times? Like, come on. Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting on your eyeliner? Why are you putting on mascara trying to drive down the freeway? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what the? I can't. I am an angry driver.
They are retarded.
I have road rage. Shan always says, the only reason, other than the fact that I don't drink, that I'm her designated driver, is that the only time she can ride with me is when she drunk. Cause
she says you can't drive either.
I can drive. I'm just an angry driver. I can drive fine. I'm just angry. I don't like driving. I don't like it.
I fight with the cab drivers because they get, they're like, look, let me in, and they get so boisterous and try to get gangster with me. I'm like, look, I learned how to drive in New York. So if you can't drive like a New York cab driver, then you can't fuck with me on the road. Don't even try to come for me.
Y'all, New York drivers suck. Quiet as
look.
Why you talking about?
We know how to get where we go.
Know how to y'all suck. They suck. And another place that has the worst flipping drivers, other than Atlanta, and LA. I mean, actually, a place that actually people scare me on the road.
Detroit.
No, New fucking Jersey.
Oh my God!
I literally was white knuckling it like, I ain't gonna make it. I ain't gonna make it. New Jersey drivers can't drive. Oh, they are the worst. Rob, you just sit over there with
trying to figure out. Well, I want to know what your interpretation of can't drive is, so I can comment on the right thing. Because it sounds like you just have idiosyncrasies about certain things. People cutting you off. You got a problem with people who can't park and people who want to be doing other shit while they driving.
Yeah.
So,
right, let me be
are they bad drivers or,
I'll be specific.
Or is it just pet peeves on the road?
It's bad driving. It's a combination of both for me. I'm sorry, KiKi. It's a combination of both for me. They cut you off. They don't know how to merge into traffic. So you're getting on the expressway. That's not the time to slow down. They don't know how to merge into traffic. They don't understand what the use of a turn signal is. and getting over into a lane. If you're going to merge, especially in traffic, go on and do it. Then you have those people, I'll take Las Vegas for instance. I don't understand why the people in Vegas, when they drive, when they get ready to turn the corner, they slow down to turn the corner completely, like almost to a complete stop when they get ready to make their turn, and then they speed up and go on about their business. What the hell is that? You know, you stop a hole, it causes gridlock in order for you to get.
Yeah, the overuse of the brake. The overuse of the brake. You know, it's just like, come on, man. When you're trying to merge, like she said, you're supposed to speed up. Why the fuck are you doing 35? Okay, let's say that we're on the freeway, and you doing the minimum. Why are you in the carpool lane? Why are you in the damn third lane? Get your ass on over to the far right where you belong. You're holding up fucking traffic. Why are you trying to pass on the right instead of on the, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, I just hate it. Or this, people who you see them, they're at the light right here, and you coming this way, and they trying to hurry up and get in front of you. But they speed out in front of you and then slow down.
Oh my God! What's the point?
Why the fuck? Why were you rushing? Rob shaking his head.
You gonna get in front of me? Go on and take care of your business, but don't get in front of me and be slow.
No, you sped up to get in front of me to slow down.
It's funny because you know, this is coming from probably. You know, when I was a road rager, I probably ranked up there with the highest of the road ragers. I mean, road ragers. I mean, I've done my share. You know, matter of fact, I alluded to something that time when Frank knew on the show, and I said, you know, some of the stuff that he was with. I remember once I was rushing. I had to get the FedEx, and I just gotten the
Rob Carter had to get the FedEx.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I did. I don't know if he was okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, yeah. All right. Doom. All right. So anyway, I'm on my way, and Frank's in the car. We got to get there. So I got to get there by a certain time. Then we were going to Hapkido class after, right? So I had just gotten the Mitsubishi. I mean, just gotten it, and. So we zoom in, we downtown, we trying to get to FedEx, and this cab driver comes, and I'm talking inches away from hitting my shit. He didn't hit it, but inches away, right? Yeah. So at the time, you all knew me at that time. This is, you know, 20 years ago, whatever, how long it was. But so I get out, and I got an issue. So I'm not road raging now. Now I'm foot raging because I'm out at the stop sign or the light, and we downtown, actually right by the jail too. We downtown, but so I'm fussing at the dude. He's got his window down, and he tries to open up the door. So I punch him, and when he tries to get out, I kick the door and I punch him. And he tried to open the door. I kick the door so he can get out, and I punch him. And I mean, I'm talking serious road rage, right? I told you I was up there, right? Frank comes out, and he's like, hey, he don't know, you know, Frank is like the opposite of me. Frank is like, oh, well, you know. He's like, you know, you still got to get the FedEx. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so I get back in the car, and we take off to get the FedEx. So coming from that, I understand what y'all talking about, but now being post-road rager.
You're a recovering road rager?
No, I'm post, not even recovering. This is like post-road rager. Now, when you get on the road, you know, I mean, I'm laughing because I see a lot of what I used to experience with you guys, but I don't digest that no more. Just drive like you playing a video game, like it's supposed to, like shit's supposed to come out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't play video games.
But you know how they work. You know the theory that.
I wish Chan would come on right now and tell you how I act when video games are on. What I'm doing when people are playing video games.
Right, well, let me give you a different analogy because the people listening know what I'm talking about. But like if you were playing Frogger, you know that your job is to jump around. Drive like that because you can't control. You will never be able to control whether it's a man or a woman
I
all the
don't
shit
want to.
goes
I don't want
on
to
out there.
control a Rob, but I'm saying the ones that are the worst offenders are women.
Yeah, I get it, but
That's the point that we're making. The
yeah,
biggest offenders that
Yes.
cause the road rage are women drivers and
okay.
Asians. But I'll
And I
just move
mean,
on from that.
and
You
and
mentioned
I'm
Hakita.
Well, what I will try, Kiki, I will not tomorrow morning when I get in rush hour traffic. I will try driving as if I'm playing pole position
there you
and
go.
not Grand Theft Auto, and we'll
Okay.
see how that works out.
That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to help y'all. This wasn't about the topic. It's trying to help y'all not be so.
And we don't have a topic. We
I'm
talk
trying.
about anything today. But you mentioned Hapkido. And I said in chat, oh God, the 3000 GT and Hapkido, and I asked Chen, I said, do you remember how he used to torture us? Let me tell y'all about Rob. When he started taking Hapkido class,
What do you do?
he
I
used
didn't beat y'all up. All
He
right.
used to go to class and then come home and then be trying to try out his shit on us. Right? Tell us,
Oh,
flip your hand like this, and then I do this, and we like, hey, right, hey. He every time he's like, see, you gotta learn how to do it because you never know, and here's a pressure point, and this. He used to torture us.
Yeah, y'all women, you need to know this.
Well, we didn't go to class with you, Rob. It wasn't like go home and work on the homework assignment on the two women around.
I was passing on the information. I was passing on. You were getting free classes.
No, we were getting hurt. We weren't getting classes. We weren't doing.
that's hilarious.
We didn't stop. But I just wasn't so.
Hilarious.
That's how far we go back. That he used to practice that crap on us. Why we let him? I don't know. But whatever. Rob was one of those people. He could sell ice cubes to a fucking.
Yeah, in the igloo. He already living in the igloo.
Yeah, he could. He could.
Already living in the
Sell
igloo.
water to a shark. It was just like, are you kidding me right now? This is something else we had a conversation about today. And it goes back to death again. The death penalty. Are y'all pro it or against it?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for it. I know that there's some leeway there to be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Where you get the wrong person, but if the system works, which as it seems like it's odd coming out of the mouth of a black man, but if the system works, folks need to be. Sometime motherfucker need his ass kicked. Sometime motherfucker need to be killed. I think that the death penalty, it is an example of what should happen if you do certain things. And I mean, an eye for an eye. I'm old school. I'm Old Testament. I believe in, if you smack me, I should be able to stab you 15 times. That's just how I look at it.
Where is that in the Old Testament?
I'm just saying. There's an eye for an eye, but if you impose on me, I think I should become tenfold. So I mean, that's just my philosophy. And then I get it. Some people might fall subject to some shit where the law got it wrong. Bottom line is,
The system's broken.
as a standard, yeah, I'm for it.
The concept you agree with.
I agree with, yeah, I do.
Sporty.
Yes, kill him dead. Absolutely, 100%.
You know,
They're enforcing the death penalty every day now already. So why should it be any different?
And my problem with, here's my problem with society in general. I mean, I get it. You should value a life, particularly a positive, productive life. But there's also just plain out evil and bad and cruel that I think has no place. If we weren't civilized, okay, and we were still somewhat barbaric, which I'm not sure we aren't, but if we weren't trying to be so humane, we'd be taking these motherfuckers out anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I think part of it, vigilanteism, I think, shouldn't be against the law in some situations, right? You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. You have mofos who without, I'm not saying somebody that it's a mistaken identity type situation where all you're doing is convicting this person basically on eyewitness testimony,
right.
Especially when it's cross-racial eyewitness or cross-cultural eyewitness testimony, which is completely, almost unreliable.
Yeah, we all
But
look alike.
I'm saying when
Everybody
you
looks
have
alike.
hard facts, you got DNA, you got fingerprints, and you have the eyewitness testimony, and you have a confession, or somewhat, you got them on tape, or you see them on video on Facebook, because they done some stupid shit, or on YouTube because they dumb as hell and gonna put it on there, right? When you have without a shadow of a doubt that this person committed this crime and you give them the death penalty, I absolutely don't feel like we went in a little deeper in the conversation talking about the appeal process. First of all, I think the death penalty in and of itself, the premise, the concept is a good thing. I'm for it. However, as you said, if the system works, which is an oxymoron, system working, not gonna happen, right? Because it's flawed on its face the way that it's done, because you have sentencing guidelines, which means that somebody has discretion on whether they want to charge you with a capital offense or not. You commit murder one, and in this state, and it's a capital offense. I commit murder one over here, and this state doesn't have the death penalty. It's
Right.
not equal. You know what I mean? So and then this person could get 25 to life, and this or 170 years in prison, and this person is sentenced to death. And then the person that's sentenced to death, I think, absolutely, because you kill so many people wrongfully, yes, there should be an appeals process. But I don't think it's fair that a motherfucker that I know for certain killed a motherfucker, and for certain killed this person, this child, this elderly person, this handicapped person, or several people. They were on a crime spree of rape, robbing, and pillaging. I don't think they should get an additional 20 years in prison fighting that case. I don't think that we should have to foot the bill for their medical, their dental, their vision, their food, their shelter, their everything. I don't think that I should have to foot the bill for a motherfucker who ain't even fit to live in society.
I agree.
That is something I agree with wholeheartedly.
No, I agree with that, but we touched on it a little bit last week when we talked about the prison system being a business, So, I mean, killing them off, is just less population, but we need to kill them off. They don't need to be dragged out. I've been on death row for 20 years. What kind of shit is that? If I'm on death row,
yeah, you on death row, and it's your peers who are out here working every single day. They getting murked on the street by the police.
Yeah.
And here you are, and they ain't did nothing to nobody. And here you are, you're a fucking serial killer, serial rapist, a baby raper.
Every day, I'm doing whatever I need to. Yeah. I mean, I get to have a whole nother life in prison. I'm already psychotic, so that's really not bad for me. I can navigate through that. I can make that work for me if that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? So
it's not like you in the hole.
Yeah, no.
It's not like you in the hole 24 hours a day. And even if you went through you locked up, huh?
They give them special privileges but
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Death row, because people were like, well, I think Chan said, when I was talking about the medical care and all of that, she's like, if they don't die first, trying to get it. I was like, no, death row inmates, they try to keep them motherfuckers happy. Because one, they know that they have the fewest amount of guards on death row per number of inmates. So if these motherfuckers stage a coup, it's gonna be a problem. So they keep them motherfuckers happy as fuck, or as happy as they can. They try to, you know what I mean? They accommodate them in as much. Not to say that death row is a cakewalk. Don't get me twisted. But what I'm saying is that they're a little bit more quick to attend to shit that they need, because they don't want that motherfucker japping out. If he been sitting there for a week trying to get medical attention, and you would somebody else, and you come to his cell to get him, ain't no telling what the hell gonna happen to your ass. Because if he locked up 23 and only out one, that he got plenty of time to think about ways to fuck you up, and he ain't got shit to lose. He ain't got shit to lose.
You already on death row. What are you gonna do? So that's what I'm saying. I mean, prolonging that I don't understand that concept. You should. If it's done, then it's done. You need to be done. That chair is there, or those needles are there. They ain't getting no use. Use them. You know what I'm saying? You start frying motherfuckers every other day, once or twice a week, and you'll see certain types of crimes change too. Put them bitches on TV.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
No, you will. You'll see certain type of crime rates go down.
That shit in the town square, when that shit was public. Stop making this shit a private, humane event. Why do I got to be humane to a motherfucker who was inhumane to the people that they killed?
Correct.
Right? You know, you can't execute a convict who's not well. So if he somehow before he got locked up contracted HIV, or he gets liver cancer or whatever the case, if he's not well, you know, or say he gets mono and goes into a fucking coma for a minute, we can't execute his ass. He halfway there anyway. Why not why not go the extra mile? But guess what? We're paying for this medical care to keep this vegetable alive when he wasn't worth shit when he was, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? How fucking crazy is that? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, somebody over here who works every goddamn day but lives in a red state like Georgia that doesn't have extended Medicare, so they don't make enough money to buy into the healthcare system, and they don't into the marketplace to get health insurance, but they don't have extended Medicare, so they can't get Medicare from the state, so they're uninsured and getting taxed on it for not being insured when it's time for their taxes, working every day, but this motherfucker getting all the benefit of the health benefits and all this other shit. You don't deserve that shit. If you contract some shit, you need to just die. We can't do nothing. We're not even trying to keep you comfortable, nigga. We just
die.
You just die. You gotta die. You're gonna die anyway. Why waste medicine on you?
Yeah, I don't see why any of that other stuff should matter. You know, if you're on death row and you've been convicted and it is what it is. I mean, it should be like a week, like a 2-week waiting list. That shit all. It shouldn't be much.
Because then you got some people. You know, there are issues where they had ineffective counsel or there was some hanky shit going on and you end up killing somebody. That's why they extended it, so it wasn't that quick. 20 years? No. Maybe 5.
I say a year.
I'll give you 5. No, because you know you got to deal with bureaucratic bullshit.
Yeah, 5 years.
I'll give you 5 years max. After that, bye-bye birdie. I'm just saying.
I'm going to die if I don't get something to drink, Kiki.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who do not know, this is the time of the show where we do our drink of the week. Cousin Chan comes up with something special every single week, but this week, this is a second generation concoction. It is called CC's Concoction. This is something that actually Chantel came up with, y'all. So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let her mama tell you how you influence your children to come up with the cocktails for the drink of the week. But I ain't judging. Take it away, Cousin Chan.
Hey everybody, tonight's drink of the week is called CC's Concoction. Tonight's drink of the week, we're going to use 2.5 ounces of Grand Marnier and 2 ounces of Red Bull. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to pour the Grand Marnier in a rock glass filled with ice and then add the Red Bull. And there you have it, CC's Concoction. All right, guys, be safe, enjoy, drink responsibly. I'll see you next week.
What's that body? What's that body? When you can't get your body.
Okay, Red Bull and Grand Marnier.
Well, at least you can find Chantel's ingredients at the store.
Yes, you can. For those of you guys, if you have not had an opportunity to check out the drink of the week, that one is pretty simple. Thank you, Chantel, for that one. We appreciate that. And if you want to get the what you say, Rob?
Why Chantel doing drinks? Anyway, this your daddy. What you doing mixing drinks?
Baby, you have no idea what happens over here. But for the rest of you guys, you need to go to facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate. Click the link, try out the drink, and let Cousin Chan and Chantel know what you think. We want to hear what your thoughts are about CC's Concoction. Yeah, man, they be over here hooking some stuff up. They had some old fruity berry something kind of, not Grand Marnier. I had never heard of it. It's a limited edition kind of, and they in there concocting all kind of caca. I just listen for my name. That's it.
I know what she got going on. She's a club hopper anyway, you know. So yeah.
Not unless she working.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what she worked at. So
that girl, she works hard. So I can't even trip. All right, Sporty, did you have one you want to? Rob, your turn. We've been sitting up here giving out stuff.
Sorry about that. Yeah, all right. Now, and I mean, I hate to deal with that, but that's something coming. You know, let's. No, I'm not gonna touch on that because that's too personal. Because I ain't gonna touch on that one. I talked about it, but I'm not gonna touch on that. So let's. Why you got me twisted here? You caught me off guard,
Okay, well,
which ain't easy to do. Which ain't easy to do, but let's. Oh, so that you proud of that? You
yes,
proud of
hell yeah, I'm proud of that. Look, how many years it's been? Almost 30 years, and I finally get you off guard.
it? Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll let you slide. Think about it, pontificate, and
Yeah.
we'll go on to another one. What about this one? Um, this is a relationship question. It came up. One of my homegirls posted on her Instagram, and she was talking about, what's the likelihood of mama's boys and daddy's girls having, healthy relationships? And
With each other?
huh?
With each other?
No, just in general, a mama's
Oh.
boy or a daddy's girl having, a healthy relationship or sustaining healthy relationships. And I thought that was a pretty interesting question because you're dealing with a mama's boy or a daddy's girl in any way. And think about it like this, because your parents are your first influencers. So your first teachers. So you're dealing with a woman who's either a daddy's girl or got daddy issues, right? You're dealing with a dude who's a mama's girl or mama's boy or has mommy issues, as they say, right? So you're dealing with the effects of parents anyway. It's all in how that person handles things. Now, if you're talking about a mama's boy to the extent that there is absolutely nothing can be done without mama's permission, and she all up and through yours and trying to tell you how to do yours, and he's okay with all of that, then more than likely he will not be able to have healthy relationships. One, because the relationship he has with his mom is unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? So let's fix that primary relationship and get that under control, and then you can talk about these other relationships. But and same thing, vice versa, when it comes to the women. So I mean, that's just my take on it. What do I know? I'm only certified in it. What do y'all think?
Well, as far as, a daddy's girl, I mean, a guy has to, have certain qualities that my daddy had, and I expect certain things, and what I was taught between him and my brothers, if they don't measure up to at least that, then I'm not interested, and yes, we can have healthy relationships, we just have certain standards,
That's not it. That's not what I'm saying.
I
There's
mean,
a
I don't.
difference between having a healthy affinity and understanding of who your father was or the men in your life was. But when every man that comes into your life you're comparing to, meaning it's like, it's not good enough, or he's not, you're picking your mate based on somebody else's opinion. If daddy ain't okay with him, then it's gonna be a problem.
I think that's weird. I think that's out of place.
That's my point about daddy's girls and mamas. I mean, daddy's girls and
Well,
mamas.
when you put it like that, I think that's out of place because if you're gonna have a mate, then I don't need to compare you to my dad and my man. That's two different things.
That's why I
And
never call a dude I ever fuck with daddy.
yeah,
Ever.
you just can't.
It's so
I don't see. I'm not calling you daddy,
That's weird.
Abba, Poppy, none of that shit. You're not him. So I think that's creepy to me. You can have qualities, that's one thing, but for me to be like, that ain't like my dad would do. It's a lot of shit that he do that my daddy ain't gonna do, nor would I expect him to do, because we don't get down like that. So that's creepy, and that ain't. I don't think that that's healthy. Daddy don't belong in my personal relationships like that. He can meet them, he can say yay or nay, that's on him. But outside of that, he has no place there, and vice versa. I don't get in. I met one of Jonathan's little thingies today. I went by, where him and my brother were working, and I walked into the house that they were rehabbing, and this girl comes out the bathroom. I said, "Well, did she come with the house too?" And my brother says that's somebody seeing Jonathan, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and I just said, okay, whatever, that's your business. I don't get in that shit. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Just
Okay.
covered up. She ain't cute enough to bear no grandkids for me, and I
But the
don't got nothing to do
problem
with that.
is what we're saying is the problem would be if he made his choices and decisions based on what you said and thought and believed, and
Right.
that he allowed you to continue to get in it. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
say the things that you can, be disrespectful to her and her position in his life. Rob.
He would
Yeah.
say, "Move around, mom."
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't believe there's such a thing. I mean, when we talk about the way you define it, you make it really clear that there's really no such thing as a mama's boy or a daddy's girl. I mean, everybody is a mama's boy and a daddy's girl to a certain degree because of that attachment. Like you explained it perfectly. Now, the relationship that we're worried about or that we should be examining is the relationship between the person and the mom, or that person's independence and self-awareness, because that's the struggle. And I think no, they will not be able to have a healthy relationship because they are not in tune with themselves individually. They're not making decisions for themselves, so they can't really do anything. You can't decide or participate or lead or raise a family if you ain't making decisions on your own anyway. So
Right.
the real thing is their relationship to independence, beyond their relationship to their mother, or the vice versa, the relationship to the father. It's the relationship to them and their own independence. And if they don't have that, then they can't do shit because they're still tied to someone else's decisions. Can't take on no responsibility or relationship, a child, a house. Can't even fucking run an apartment your own if you running back and forth to your mom or
Yeah,
your
you
dad.
running back and forth because she say she don't like the neighborhood, or she got to be the one to decorate your spot. You know what I mean? And all this. She got to have a key to your place, and she comes and goes up and into your spot
Right. Yeah.
without
How you even live?
without notice. Shit like that. But there are people who are in relationships with people like that. A lot of people, I'm sure a lot of girls that dated my brother, probably felt like, the women in his life were a little overbearing. And I'm just going to put it out here, because I know some of them listen to the show and stuff. I'm just going to put it out here. Y'all weren't good enough for him. And I'm being serious. Because I don't know what it is my brother is attracted to the fixer-uppers. You know what I mean? I'm like, nigga, if you into fixing up, go buy some property. Fix that shit up. Right? Ladies, that was where you found them. Right? This is shit there's catch and release. You can catch it and release it. You don't keep it. Right? It's like some shit you just don't keep. Right? And that's just the way I feel about it. So if you want to say we were overbearing, or he valued too much what we had to say, at the end of the day, he made the decision. Did we say what we was going to say about him? Uh-huh. Yeah, we did. Were we rude to you when you came around? No. Were we extremely welcoming? Probably not. But we weren't rude. You know what I mean? But again, you have to understand, when you're the only man around a bunch of women, the women are going to protect that one. We talk about it all the time. Women raise their daughters and coddle their boys, and vice versa. Women raise their girls and men raise their daughter. Their sons and coddle their girls. It's just the way that it is. Is that a hard and fast rule? Does that apply to everybody? No, it is a generalization. But if you take a look, the general consensus is the women will crowd around the man.
Yeah.
So he's mama's boy to somebody, even if it ain't his mama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
a lot of them out there that they are not worthy of mommy's baby. But I don't say nothing like that out there to them,
I will. I was a real bitch, though. I was a real bitch to my brother's girlfriend. No, to my brother's girlfriends.
Oh.
I was a real bitch to them. Because I already got that. I know what she was trying to say. I get it. I don't give a shit. I've been called worse things by better people. So how about that? No, I was a real bitch to them because I was just like, One, I might not have thought you were cute enough. You know what I mean? It's always, you know what? Speaking of that.
Wait, before you go there, did you ever have, KiKi, the friends that were only trying to be your friend because they were trying to be with your brother? And then you had your regular friends, but then you had those girls that, oh hey KiKi, want to just hang out with you because they're trying to get to Mark.
And I dead that shit from the gate.
Oh my God, I couldn't stand those.
I would dead that from the gate. As soon as she asked me one question too many about my brother, bitch, you out of here.
Yes,
you got to go. One, I'm saving him from you, and I'm saving you from him. Because trust and believe, I know my brother. He ain't perfect. I love him, but I know my brother. And you are not going to be coming to me talking about, oh, your brother did him. I don't give a fuck. Shit. That's what you get. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Oh, he's wrong for that. No, I'm staying Switzerland, or I'm going to side with him. Now, I might side with him publicly, but privately, I'm scolding him.
Right.
You're like,
you did her wrong. What's wrong with you?
You knew what you was getting. You stayed. You went back. You dealt with it. What you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to do? What do you think I'm going to take your side over my brother's? No. Bitch, question. Go talk to somebody else. Call your friends. Don't call me. I'm not your friend. You can't sit up and chop it up with me about my people. That's something I'm talking about. I don't get that shit. Why do you think it's okay to go and contact other people's people about them? Like they supposed to be like, yeah. You know what I mean? Why do people do that?
Because they stupid.
I don't get that one. I don't get that one. I had one person call my mom.
Your
like,
mom?
I'm like, yeah. Out of folks that, like, when you grown and you in a relationship or supposed to be, whatever you doing, I don't even know how you define what you're doing, but you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? I had somebody call my mom, and try to, rip me a new asshole to my mama. It just don't make no sense. How do you think that's gonna work? You know what I mean? My mom did, look how that look you got right there. That's how my mom was like, that's my son you talking about. How you gonna? That's my only son. That's my only baby.
My God.
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna call me about my son?
Yeah. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you gonna go to my friends and try to befriend my friends so that you can still have some in, or you trying to talk to. No.
It don't work like that.
It doesn't work that way. If you already had a pre-existing friendship with Sporty, and I'm dating you, and y'all happen to know each other before I met you or whatever the case. Now, if shit don't go well with us and you won't go talk to Sporty, that's on you, because y'all had your own independent relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But if you met Sporty through me, it would behoove you not to call Sporty trying to talk to Sporty about me. Because either she going to cuss your ass clean out, or she going to let you talk and come back and tell me every fucking thing you said.
Oh, no, I'm going to have y'all on three-way. You know how I do.
Or do both. She's going to cuss you out and then tell me everything. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that it is never okay to do that kind of shit. People, please stop doing that. That annoys the hell out of me. And do you really think my people, and then you got the nerve to get mad when she come back and tell me what you said? You going to get mad at her and feel some kind of way at her because she came back and tell me? That's what she supposed to fucking do.
No. Don't forget this part, KiKi. Don't forget the part about where I'm supposed to tell your personal business to other people because they ask me to.
I don't know what that means.
That means, like, say,
the expectation of folks when they come in, the people, they expect certain shit. And here's the thing: if I could just take this to the next level, people need to understand how to navigate relationships. You want to be successful? It's all about relationships. Everything. That's actually, I got some shit I'm working on in the seminar. Everything is about navigating the relationships. You want to be successful at all, it's about navigating a relationship. Relationship between whether you are successful at work or not. It's a relationship between how much work you put in and how far you get. There's a relationship between everything. And you got to look at the history and what went into that relationship. If I want to start talking about or questioning what my expectation is of a person or friendship. You need to look at the relationship. What is the history of it first before you start expecting somebody to respond? If there's no history there, then you can't expect the person to start giving up or rolling over on somebody else in your benefit. Why would they? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have to navigate the relationships. You got to be able to look at them, not in them, but from above them. You got to look down and look at it. You know what? What can I expect from Sporty? I can't expect the same thing from Sporty that I can expect from you because we don't have the same history. You see what I'm saying?
But that's the problem. People do, though. They think that they can.
Correct. And that's the thing. That's why they need to examine the relationships between things. For every action, opposite, equal, opposite reaction shit, it applies to every single thing. Yeah. Just examine the relationship. Start looking at why something is the way it is, and it should be clear. It'll just pop up clear.
Right, but some people, you know, they're so intent on what they want, they don't see anything else clearly. No. So if he really trying to, you know, bash me or get at me or get more information because I'm not telling him something or whatever, and he feels that, you know, I know she's forthcoming with her girls and she talks to her girls or whatever, so I'm gonna go to her people that I have, you know, somewhat of a rapport with. The problem is that he's focused on what he wants, which is the information. He's not focusing on the way to get the information, because Correct. The information comes from me. You know Correct. What I mean? You know, it's like, it's not going to come from her. What you're seeking is not it's not going to come from her. She's not the source of the information. So, yeah. You know, people you know, I talk about managing relationships all the time, and you're absolutely right. And people think that they can treat each of those relationships differently in terms of work and life and love and, you know, family. It's like the same kind of effort that you put in, and the rules still apply. You still have to learn how to manage certain situations with people. You have to understand approach in people, the approach. You have to understand how to sell. You got to understand all of those things. You know, and you know, everybody has those different dynamics, but most people don't even, all they think about is them and what they want. And so I'm just saying, for the record, don't call my people talking.
Ain't happening.
Because one, they're not giving up no information, male or female, and then you're not going to get them to talk out of turn about me. Third, don't get in your feelings when they come back and tell me everything you said.
Everything.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Correct. You should expect it. And that's what, yeah, you should expect it. So if you're using that, if you're going to use that vehicle, if you want to go that route, then you need to be planting seeds versus the other, because you know that it's going. You
have to be more strategic in what it is that you're doing. If you're going to use Sporty as a pawn in your game, you better make sure that you've thought at least 7 steps ahead.
That is getting to her, and that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
And while we're on the subject of our people, let me say for the record clearly to our lovely Playing Devil's Advocate audience, I don't have no information for you about Rob either. Just like KiKi is a closed book, y'all can stay out my inbox, y'all can stay out my text messages. I have nothing to share with you about Rob, except he is the Rob Carter, and you can go to his fan page.
Or the Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay, if you are in the Vegas area, and you can catch him there and find out. Make an appointment, run your dollars, and God we trust, all others pay cash.
That's right.
That's what I tell you about
He signing autographs at the Mandalay Bay.
There you go. That's my synopsis of Rob Carter.
He's signing autographs and kissing babies at the Mandalay Bay. I'm just saying.
All the time, on a regular basis.
That's all I got for you.
The kids love Rob.
Over him, no. They be like, well, who is that?
You know, I don't know where you find these thirsty bros that be on your page, but here's something that came in. Somebody tossed in this one. They were saying that is this within the code or is it tacky? Look at this. They're saying that this dude, Leroy Bill Black, died on August 2nd, and both his wife and his longtime girlfriend both posted obituaries in the same newspaper.
Okay. I mean, let me ask.
Was it the same obituary?
Why is the girlfriend of the dead husband posting obituaries about a man that ain't hers in the newspaper?
She don't have the book.
Well, he's dead. I don't know what the thing is, but he's dead, and he might have had two lives. You know what I'm saying? And she felt that, based on the people she knew and the folks that knew them together, that she felt a need for that. I mean, I don't know. That one is a little different from the code because he's dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the end of the chapter. So. Yeah, I'm sure she may have had a reason for that. I don't know I don't even remember the exact question if it was, but it don't seem janky to me. It just it is. It just is.
It don't
It
seem
just it
tacky
just
that
is.
the mistress would post. First of all, why is the mistress posting an obituary about a man she's not married to?
Yeah, well, I mean that you don't know the dynamics of that relationship.
Dynamic my ass. It does not matter. He's not your husband. Why
I
are
get,
you posting an obituary about someone who's not your man? You know what I mean? You have no legal allegiance to. In one way, shape, they're not your kid. They're not your family member. They're not your husband. Why are you posting an obituary? Post it on Facebook, bitch. That's where
But I
everybody else.
want to know is if she posted the same obituary or was it one of her own?
I don't know, but they
I'm
posted it.
sure it was her own.
They posted the same notice of death about the same guy, and one's the wife and one's not.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if that was her final tee-hee-hee stab at the wife. I don't know. But
Yeah.
my point is that there's really no reason for you to have posted anything about this man's death in a newspaper.
but not playing the advocate though. Why does it matter? Who gives a fuck? If she felt that that's what she needed to do to make peace, to resolve, for conclusion, whatever, I don't know what she's going through. But right now, I'm dealing with some stuff right now, somebody I just lost, and I'm just saying, no matter what you feel like you're supposed to do, then, I mean, folks judge it, and they judge it, but fuck them. That might be what she had to do. You know what I'm saying? To do.
It made her feel better to post in the newspaper.
Yeah. I'm not thinking about the other bitches and people and what the relate. That she felt she had to do that, and that might have been what she needed to do. Fuck them. Fuck that lady. Fuck the wife. Fuck whoever. Huh? The newspaper.
That's why I said post it on Facebook. It just makes more sense. That's what everybody else do. They put their business on Facebook.
That was her way to go. Who knows?
Okay. That's fucking insane to me. But hey, whatever, man. Whatever floats your damn boat.
I got your back, lady. Whoever you are, do your thing, man. Fuck those people. He's dead. It's over.
Since you talking about do your thing and you got people's back, do you have your thing back now? Since I caught you off guard before.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about navigating relationships, but it's too late because we already talked about. I was talking about it on a different level, but we got there. Because I mean, people need to, But no, you good, because I got a whole thing about that coming up.
I can always talk about relationships all day long. That's what I do.
I know. I got a thing that we were talking about.
Okay.
I'm ready for it.
Speaking of that, then, because this is something else that I wanted to get into before we got into Sporty's letter and circle back to what we started the show talking about, is it goes in terms of the navigating relationships, but I'm talking about managing relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, it is never okay for your fiance, girlfriend, or baby mama to reach out to your current wife or anything like that without there being some management of relationships in that sense. A lot of you guys are out here. You have, children from somebody over here and children from somebody over here, and you might be married to somebody over here, or whatever the case, or you married to this person with children, and you haven't effectively managed the relationships between these women. And so you got this parent over here who's sending their child over here, and you haven't managed those relationships, and now you got friction between these women that wouldn't necessarily exist if you didn't manage those relationships properly. And that can mean something as simple as the way that you transitioned out of one of those relationships into that next relationship, or the way you presented that person to the other person, and how you handle them within. You don't take one side over the other. You know, you, in that instance, you have to take what is the best, or what is fair versus what's not, you know, unfair or whatever. Do I feel like you shouldn't take your wife's side over your baby mama's side? No. But if your wife is dead ass wrong, you need to tell your wife she dead ass wrong. Do you need to tell her she dead ass wrong in front of baby mama? Absolutely not. Because now you put baby mama in a position of power over your wife. Not supposed to happen, right? So again, you have to manage these relationships a lot better than you guys are doing, because that's why you have all these children not seeing their fathers, all these, you know, having all these crazy ass ideas, or that their dad didn't care about them, this, that, and the other, when he just, you know, or you women who keep your kids from their daddies because you don't know how to manage your fucking feelings. Fuck your goddamn feelings. Don't nobody give a shit about your goddamn feelings. This kid needs their other parent. You are no, and I said this one time on my little thing. I did my 5 things Friday when Father's Day was coming up, and I'm just on a tirade right now. You know, it really bothers me when women are talking about Happy Father's Day to each other and shit. Like, bitch, you ain't no damn father. Stop saying that shit. When you created a situation that is not conducive for this man to be in your child's life, you cannot pat yourself on the back talking about something. Yeah, I'm my man daddy. Really? How'd that happen? You were there all by yourself? You did all this by yourself? I don't like that shit. I don't like it. That's just me. I'm just saying. Yeah. Man, first part is, before I went down my rabbit hole, first thing, fellas and ladies, manage those relationships so you don't have this friction when you're blending families and you're blending situations. Because the only people that get hurt are the kids.
Yeah. Let me chime first, Sporty, if I may, because I got a lot of experience with this one. Yeah, the first thing, I've been on both sides of it. I've been on a decent side of it and a not so decent side of it, you know. And luckily, I mean, I'm glad to say that, you know, you grow. People grow, so you learn how to manage things better. Every time, and, you know, I want to qualify this for those of y'all who are in fucked up situations. Every situation is school. Don't think about failure and problems or whatever. It's all school. It's all about learning from that, so you can, because you're going to keep facing the same thing over and over until you get it right. Until you learn how to manage it and get past, then you'll get the next challenge. And they ain't going to stop, but it's all school. So she's right, though. You have to manage the situation. And the bottom line is, first of all, they don't have a lot of reasons to be in contact unless there is some exchange of children, and that person's going to have to watch that person's kid. So they need to know who each other is, and they need to understand and respect certain things about it. You know, I have a great example where I know that the mothers had really no love for each other, but it didn't filter down, because I know that at one time, you know, my son was in a situation. He was crying. Nobody could calm him down but Chan. You know what I'm saying? But that's not his mom. So, you know, understanding that a person's ability to deal with the child separate from the mother is what's key. And you got to be able to recognize that and expect that from the person that you're with, because you can't be with them if you can't expect that. The kid is what matters. It's still your responsibility to make sure that treatment filters over. They don't have to ever like each other. They just have to respect each other's space. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key. And then the one you with is the one you with. So you have to make sure that even if they're wrong, like you said, you got to keep that person's best interest at heart, while trying to make sure that person doesn't abuse being the one that's got the best interest. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that could be a tightrope, but if you look at it that way, it makes it a whole lot easier. You know, and if you got any cojones, you should be able to handle that in your own house too. You know, and women too. You got to deal with the same thing. You got to deal with that with men and fathers, and it gets trickier too. Discipline. You know, I mean, it's. I had that situation where I was with a girl and I was dealing with her son. You know, and you know, discipline we weren't the same at first. You know what I'm saying? And then at some point, You know, there was a position where I had to be allowed to do certain things or impact certain things, you know, or else it wasn't going to work, you know. So, you know, and that's always delicate. So you just have to respect. Again, it goes back to understanding where the foundation of the relationship is. And if it's a gap there, rather than arguing about it, then build up the security in the relationship until that, because if you know that's necessary, then work on that. Then work on giving her the confidence when she sees you handle your kids that, okay, I can entrust him with mine then. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that you might have to build up that may not be there.
But the problem is these days, I'm sorry, and then I'll let you go, Sporty. The problem is these days, Rob, is that people are not taking the time during the dating process to actually get to know these other people.
Right.
And now you're in a relationship with these people, and you want to now put your kids in the mix, and you don't even know what the hell this person is about. You don't know where they come from, or you know what their triggers are, and if they even fucking like kids. You ain't even really had that conversation, or if they ever been around kids. You don't even notice, you know. So I think that causes a lot of friction as well. I'll give a scenario, and then I'll shut up so Sporty can chime in on it. But here's a situation: you have a woman who was married, you know, a couple who gets married and divorced. They have common children. The guy goes and gets married to somebody else and lives somewhere else. It's summer break. You send your daughter to go stay with his dad. I mean, you know, with her dad. And while she's there, you know, he's married to somebody younger, and she's trying to be friends with the daughter as opposed to, you know, being in a parental state, right? And so they go in and have spa day or whatever. And the child knows before time, you can't get nails. You can't get nails. You know, you can get a manicure, but you can't get nails. Why the hell is this woman calling this woman asking, well, can I get her nails? Especially if the kid already said, my mom said I can't have them. Right? And then when your child comes back, they got fucking nails. I'm mad as hell at this point. Like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck you even called me, and why didn't you take them shits off before you sent her back? You know what I mean? That's the kind of shit that I'm talking about, managing the relationships. He should have intervened in that point and said,
no nail.
You know what I mean? You need to respect that over there. Now, don't overstep boundaries. If she has an understanding and she's clear that that's not what she's supposed to be doing, she shouldn't be able to come over here and do anything that she can't do at home.
Right. Because she got to go back home and follow those rules. I get it.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sport.
I completely lost my train of thought.
So what was it? Why she getting it back? And the second part was what? Keeping the kids away? What was the second part? Because it was something else. I wanted to address both pieces of your
part my rant was about women keeping these kids away from their fathers because they in their fucking feelings. And, you know, you don't want, pay me, I want my child support, but you don't want to ever let the kid go see the father, spend time with the father. Is always an excuse. It's some bullshit. You know, and then the flip side to that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sporty, she got it back.
See, that bullshit right there, that's the shit that ticks me completely the entire fuck off. Why in all hell you laid down with this motherfucker and had these babies? So, you know, you have some responsibility in this. And so, you know, I have always said the children have no place in the relationship between you and that parent, that other parent. Mm-hmm. They have no place in what's going on with you and him. You know, like I'll use myself as an example. Jonathan has no clue about what the complete dynamics between who you affectionately call old boy, you know, and myself are. You know what I'm saying? All he knows is that's his dad. He took care of him. He paid for school. He took care of everything he needed. I didn't have to go to court for no damn child support. You know, this is what your child needs. This is what's required. You know, he handled his business as a father. He may not have gotten along with me and he did some fucked up shit, but he was a damn good daddy to his son and still is. Their relationship is intact. I don't ever say he ain't shit, he ain't this, he ain't nothing. We've never had that conversation. And at 30 years old, Jonathan could not even begin to tell you. He understands now what's going on,
But the woman should never ever say that about her child's father.
That's the problem. That's what I couldn't.
Children. I mean, I'm sure there was times Miss Dorothy wanted to call Nate something. You know what I mean?
Same
and
here.
vice versa.
Me.
You know, I'm sure. But I never heard it. I never heard it. It wasn't for me to hear. It wasn't for me to know. And y'all need to stop doing that shit. Stop putting children in grown-up shit. Right. That's not something they need to be a part of. They should not be exposed to that. Another thing about kids, Rob.
Go ahead, because
I can't stand grown-ass kids that don't know a kid's damn place. Don't come sit up unto me in my goddamn conversation and have shit to say when I'm talking to another grown person. I grew up where kids didn't get in grown-up conversations. When grown-ups was talking, it was like, oh, we having a grown folks conversation, exit stage left. And if I was, which I did, sneak in and I was all in their business, I was invisible. Like, I would do shit where I'm over here, I ain't making no noise, I ain't chiming in on the conversation. You know, some of the language that these kids say to adults, when they respond to you, you call their name, they like, what, bitch, what? I'm not your fucking friend. Am I annoying you? How the hell you gonna respond to me? What? Twist your goddamn lips off your face, right? Like, these kids are just so fucking disrespectful. You're not my kid here. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, I want to get back to the other one about the kids, because again, with as many kids as I got, you know, I run across that too. I got them all. When it comes to kids, I can chime in because I've probably seen, heard, experienced, or dealing with one of them at any point. Yeah. So, you know, here's the thing, and again, it's back to the relationships. The relationship between the two people are theirs, but when you carry that over to your kid, you know, the sad part about it, the real sad part about it is that the kid is still so impressionable. They're young. They haven't had the opportunity to establish a genuine relationship with their biological parent. No matter what it is, if it's a guy, the girl, whoever, when you do that, when you start to taint that relationship and sway it towards your feelings. Yeah. Because I know in one particular situation, I don't feel anything like I feel about the mom, about the child. You know what I'm saying? So, but now I have to deal with a child that looks at me a certain way and has an impression of me a certain way. And I don't know that you can ever undo that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a child. So some of that falls into their value system. It just goes so deep that you ruin the possibility of them ever having what they could have had. Whether it gets mended, whether they start to deal with each other, it will never, ever be what it could have been. You know, so just think about that. Don't be so selfish that you don't think about that. I'm looking at it in retrospect, you know, from a different perspective, trying to figure out how to, I've got, you know, one situation that I'm even scared to approach because I don't know how difficult it's going to be. I got another one that I'm dealing with slowly but surely. But again, and then another thing about this, we went back to this Father's Day and this other shit. And then what is up with not even having the common fucking courtesy to send a card to the father from your goddamn child, or have them send a card to the father? You don't want to call him, send a goddamn card. You expect him to do shit. You gotta hold on. Here's the thing. You get somebody that now is expecting some shit from me. Here's the relationship again. Here's that coalition. Here's that give and take. Here's that. You expect me to respond to everything. I got to send something for the birthday, for the school, for the child support, for the Christmas, for the this, and for the that, right? And
not you a deadbeat all over it, yeah.
Oh, I'm still a deadbeat.
No, but I'm saying definitely if you do that, you definitely go on deadbeat leash. You don't do shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but let's say I do all of that, and you know, at up until a certain point when I realized it's unappreciated, I was even sending a Mother's Day card from the kid that's with you, and you knew it came from somewhere else. Because that's when I grew up. That's kind of how it was, you know. Here, sign this is going to your dad is for this, and then you just start doing it when you're old enough, you know. So in absence of that, and then you expect shit. Where does the foundation come? Where have you built for me where you really should expect me to continue to do that? Why would I do anything above what the court told me to do? Because you haven't done anything above just receiving that. So what
you don't have a relationship. You just
no relationship.
You have a transactional history.
You have a transaction. So then that relationship between me and you and me and that child is strictly transaction oriented. When you see it for that, then you'll understand what you created. Then you'll understand why people are responding the way they are. Because we respond the way we do until our obligation is met, because that's where you put us. Then after that, it becomes a transaction, and you have to almost expect me when something comes to me now, for me to evaluate it like that. Mm-hmm. Is it really worth what I'm gonna have to deal with to engage here? Because I have no responsibility and I have no relationship. There's nothing that makes me feel, I don't feel inclined to do it for no other reason. I got nothing, no history there to grab hold to. You know what I'm saying? No intangibles. So just think about that, ladies, young people, anybody in that situation. And if you are in that situation, it ain't too late to try to turn it around. It ain't gonna ever be the same. If you started it that way, you already fucked up something. But don't fuck it all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Get back in and try to turn it around if you can.
Or at least have an age-appropriate conversation with your child. Yeah. And say, for instance, you spent the first 12 years being a dickhead toward his father and not keeping that child, or even the 16 years. I don't care. You can at least have an age-appropriate conversation with your kid and say, you know what, I may not have always done the right things or made the right decisions when it came to this, and you're, encouraging this relationship, or even saying.
I mean, been totally honest. Yeah. Well,
wait, but I will say, no. I'm saying in terms of having that age-appropriate conversation, the things that you're saying, you don't have to say, I just outright lied and said your dad didn't do that. I'm not saying do that. No. Because what happens is that does more damage, because now that kid feels like, I don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. Nobody I know is who they say they are. So now a lie. Now what you can say is that it's an age of, I may not have made the right decisions. You didn't. I may not have said the right things. You didn't. Right? However, I'm woman enough to come to you now and say, hey, listen, I didn't make the right decisions. I didn't say the right things. I didn't do the right things. I may not have allowed things that I should have, but at the time, it's all that I was equipped to allow to happen or knew what to do. You know what I mean? I'm saying to you in this point, here's the situation. You can take this information anyway. Give them the fighting chance that they deserve, or give them the opportunity to get to know you, or vice versa, and don't allow me to get in the way anymore. But my thing is, a lot of people, it's prideful to say, I fucked up. Because that's a nice way of saying to your kid, I fucked up. Mm-hmm. Right? True. And it's hard to say that, especially when you've been carrying on that shit for so long. Because now that kid is going to have questions. Mm-hmm. And answering those questions is going to require you to answer some tough shit and own some shit. Yeah. And that's hard to do. Especially when it's in the eyes of your child.
But it's necessary.
Especially in the eyes of your child. But okay, again, you can, there are different age-appropriate conversations at different points in your life that you can have with your kid. But a 12-year-old, you're not going to tell them, I fucked up and I did this.
No, I get it. But it is necessary. What I do want to point out before we push on, is necessary, because if you don't clear that part up first, the relationship between the parent, the estranged parent and the child will never get a chance to form, because they'll still hold on to shit that I'm gonna tell you, depending on how long that is, that the other parent might not even value the struggle of breaking through that as valuable. You got to deal with that as a reality too, depending on how much time and effort they want to put.
Or until that child stops being an asshole too. You know what I mean?
Correct. That's what I'm saying. They won't
And when I
stop until they clear that
and when
up.
I say stop being an asshole, I mean there comes a point in time where you have to stop blaming people for your station in life. You have
Right.
to stop blaming mama for this. You have to stop blaming daddy for this. You got to stop blaming all these other people and say, you know what? This is the hand that I was dealt. I got questions, and the only mofo who can answer these questions is this man. So I'm gonna listen to what this man has to say, or what this woman has to say. I can take from it what I want, or what Sporty say. You can chew the meat and throw out the bones, right? But if you want to walk through your entire life holding a grudge about something, you don't even know what the fuck you holding a grudge about. That's on you. That's your poison. You know what I mean? At some point it no longer hurts me anymore. It's on you because we haven't created enough of a situation for it to even bother me to this point anymore. It's just kind of like, hey, what can I do? It is what it is. You know? So anyway, Sporty, you over there biting your lip.
You in my PDA letter. I can't say nothing.
Oh, shit. Well, fuck it. Let's just go ahead and do this goddamn PDA letter. It's been harassing us since the beginning of the show. It's 11:30. I think it's fair. We can go ahead and do the Ask PDA letter. And I got some more stuff that's probably going to piggyback off of this, apparently, because there's a lot of stuff going on about families and relationships today. All right, let's go ahead and just get this disclaimer played so that we can do the Ask PDA letter.
At some point, you will be offended by something said on our show, but playing devil's advocate is meant to be a forum for open, honest, and more importantly, judgment-free dialogue. The opinions expressed here may not necessarily be those of our hosts or the show in general, but we're willing to have the uncomfortable conversations so that we can heal and find solutions for our listeners and quite possibly ourselves. Enjoy the rest of the show.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Today's Ask PDA letter is a little unorthodox, and it is being brought to you by our producer's drink of the week. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out CC's concoction, please travel on over to facebook.com/playing devil's advocate. Click the link, try the drink, and let Cousin Chan and Chantel know what you think. All right, Sporty has a letter. Go for it.
Dear PDA, this letter is from me, Sporty Spunky Angel. I am a grandmother of 3 children. I have 2 children, one 30-year-old son who has a son of his own, and a daughter who is 25 who has 2 daughters of her own. My daughter is choosing the road of liking to run the streets, neglecting her children, opts for prostitution, and likes to fight a lot. Her child's father of her 7-year-old lives in New York and is in prison probably for the rest of his life. Her child's other father is a pedophile and a physical abuser of her and her 4-year-old daughter. My mother has custody for the past 5 years of her 7-year-old. I have had custody 1 year as of this month of the 4-year-old. My daughter is now pregnant again with a new 3rd baby daddy and is putting me through hell going back and forth in court because she wants her 4-year-old back to raise and has no contact pretty much with the 7-year-old and just wants to give me the blues because she just feels like I'm trying to keep her daughter away from her. She is on drugs, she has an alcohol problem, and she probably needs some mental health counseling. She may or may not be going through the process. She misses visits regularly. She has supervised visitation. She has missed 3 supervised visits in a row for the past 3 weeks. She consistently posts on Facebook about being with this other guy and their other children. And she's very disrespectful. She is not willing to work out problems in the family relationship. She and her mother, she and I were separated when she was 3 years old. Her father took her, and they disappeared. And that's the long and short of that part of it. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. And it's beginning to wear on my last nerve that the daughter will not get her life together because of the decisions that she's making in her life. So, PDA family, how do I proceed with one, handling the relationship with the non-existent relationship with my daughter, because I do care about her. And then there are times where I feel like I don't know where I made the mistake, but something needs to give here. Signed, I should have swallowed.
Oh man, why did you have to end it like that?
Girl, look, that's how I feel today. You know I have to tell the truth.
You know what? This letter stressed me out so goddamn bad. I peeled my damn nail off.
That's okay, because you already know the letter. So there you go.
Ah.
That was the short version.
Look, Rob over there, I don't even know
Right,
what
because
emoji
Rob
face
don't
that
know.
is.
So
I don't even know what that emoji face is, Rob.
Right.
Oh, he got the thinker face emoji on right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead. I'll let you handle this one first, Rob, and then I'll give my 2 cents.
Well, I mean, it's a real tough scenario, and it's tougher because it's sporty, you know. And but trying to stay away from who it is and deal with what it is. I mean, the bottom line is I don't see an indication in her behavior that warrants her approaching or pursuing custody. That's the first thing I want to deal with. So, with that said, you know, she might not see that, she might not understand that, but from your perspective, I would say that you need to protect the child you have right now. That's one thing, because there's no indication that that would be a better situation. So you need to protect that. That's one soul you're already connected to that has been put there for a reason, and you're supposed to take that somewhere else, and you can't let her go back to that unless it was a reason to. Now the second thing is the relationship between you and your daughter, and how difficult that might be, because I don't know what the dynamics are, but I would suggest that. And see, I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing a couple of different things. I don't know that she's as interested in the relationship as you are. I think that she might just be selfish and want a kid back. I don't hear any indication. I mean, she's missing visits. I would assume that those visits being supervised, she'd have an opportunity to be able to chop it up with you. And so if I don't know if there's no effort there. You got to be a realist. You got to be real. But I mean, before you can worry, and I wouldn't worry about this other kid. You can't. That's just too much. The next kid is her problem, and I mean, I get it. You know, now when I put all this together and some of the conversations we were having earlier, I get it. I think your concern is the 4-year-old, and staying on point with that, making sure that nothing comes out of her pursuing that, and you protect that, and then it's up to her. You need to voice it. It's up to her. If you guys need to build a relationship, you open, and hopefully she'll respond. But if she doesn't respond, you almost have to value where you're going. I mean, for me, and I've done it, and it might not be the best advice, but I put the shit on hold. If I can't handle it and I can't deal with it, I push it to the side. I got to deal with what I can deal with, and that's that 4-year-old. You know, that shit, if you ain't ready to deal with it, that's just too much work. I got other things to worry about. I got to worry about a 4-year-old to raise and everything else I got to do, and I can't fuck with that. So you give it a chance, but if it don't work, that's how I would handle it. You know.
that's what we're doing so far. I agree.
All right, I should have swallowed. Let me put this to you like this. Knowing what I know and without disclosing way too much, I will keep it very simple. You can't worry about that bitch and her shit. This is her shit. You have taken on the responsibility of this 4-year-old. That's your responsibility. All of this other stuff is on her. I know you probably feel like somebody's going to have to take care of this kid too. And it's probably going to fall in my lap. Maybe. If you so choose to allow to take on that responsibility, because here's the lesson that everybody's teaching her. The lesson that everybody is teaching her is that she can go out and do whatever the hell she wants to do, live her life any old kind of way, keep popping out babies, and ain't have no consequence for it. When she gets ready and wants to dispose of it and not want to deal with it anymore, somebody else will come take the responsibility, and then I can go and try and get it back. Or if not, I could just have another one. That's the lesson that she's learning. She's not learning to figure it out like you did with yours. She's not learning to figure it out like Rob and Chan and everybody else, you know what I mean? Like, no, she's not learning to figure it out. Do I believe that there's some mental health shit going on? Absolutely. But again, that goes back to the conversation that we were having. But before I go on to that, I'm going to wrap this up with you. You can't get too super involved in that. You have to stay focused on what you're doing and what you're doing for that 4-year-old. Everything else is not on you. Everything else is not on you.
Okay.
Do what you can to make sure that the 4 and the 7 have their relationship, and if this new baby comes to fruition, if there's something that needs to be had, and I know those visitations that she's missing are supervised but not by you, by the state, and she's not even showing up for that. Let her screw herself on that. Don't worry about that. Just do you, boo boo. Do you. And that's all.
Well, I mean, it bothers me because it's affecting the 4-year-old.
I get it, but there's only so much you can do. The 4-year-old is bothered by it because the 4-year-old has experienced way too much than a 4-year-old should have experienced already.
And then the next thing might be, hey, if, when can we shut this down? Why do I have to bring this girl so she could be disappointed every week? Because then that's another issue. I mean, I talked to the court about that. How long do we have to play that game?
The court system is a fucking joke when it comes to child protective services.
Mm-hmm.
There's this bureaucratic bullshit. See, and this is what I'm talking about when I was talking about, forced sterilization. It's like at some point, somebody's got to be held responsible. And if the courts are not doing what their job is, right, in terms of getting these children out of these unhealthy situations and into healthy situations and doing everything that they can to empower the people who are now taking on the responsibility, instead of giving chance after chance after chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to this other person who clearly shows no interest, it should be a 3-strike rule. You don't show up for court, you don't show up for the meeting, you don't show up for this, that's it, we're done. But no, because what they're doing is they're constantly milking the state for more and more money.
So if they implement a program where they have sterilization, or make it part of, how they get on the the welfare system, but part of that prerequisite is you need to be, neutered or spayed so that you can't continue to keep having babies on the city.
I bet you motherfuckers will stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I just found out today in some states that if you're on government assistance in terms of like money, you're getting financial support from the government, and say for instance you get on the system and you have one kid,
okay,
they're giving you financial support. You have a second kid, that kid's not covered. They'll give you food stamps, they'll give you Medicare, but they ain't giving you no more goddamn money. Because they're like, look, stop having all these goddamn babies, you can't take care of the one. Which I think is something good. Because
that's a good idea.
Because you have people that have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations of fucking welfare, because they ain't never got to work. Because, or it's same thing as this. You got 5 kids when you get on, and you decide you want to have the 6th one, that 6th one ain't covered. They'll get medical. They'll get, food stamps. They'll feed them. They'll give you health care. But you ain't getting no money. Because they know.
I think they need to limit that food stamp shit, too.
I think so, too. But kids got to eat.
I mean, but you're giving people.
Why I gotta feed?
I feel the same way, Rob. Why do I have to feed all 6 and 7 of they goddamn kids, and I'm trying to figure out how to fucking eat every day?
I mean, my neighbor has 3 kids, and that woman clears $900 a month in food stamps alone. In food stamps alone.
And then half the time they selling them.
That's the other thing. That's how I know that.
Because they ain't eating $900 a month.
Shit, you know that's somebody's rent. That's somebody's house note. That's somebody's car and insurance. $900 a month that you paying out in in food stamps. Not to mention, like I said, I live in a state where they don't have extended Medicare. So if you don't make enough money that you qualify to buy into the marketplace for insurance, but you make too much for Medicare, you're uninsured and you're going to get taxed on the back end. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, you and all your fucking kids got insurance. How fair is that? But I can't say that, it's politically incorrect for KiKi to say that I think there should be forced sterilization. Stop having all these goddamn kids that you can't take care of or you're not interested in taking care of. It's not cool. It's not cute. And it's not fair to the rest of the motherfuckers that gotta foot the bill for this shit.
And it ain't fair to the kid.
That's true too.
The bill that I'm talking about is the overarching bill, not just the financial bill, but the emotional bill. It's the bill that everybody's having to pay this tab, except for the motherfucker who's creating it.
Who created it?
You got this motherfucker sitting up ordering shit from the bar. They getting appetizers. They getting a meal. They ordering dessert. They getting after drink coffees and cappuccinos. They ordering all kind of shit. But ain't nobody responsible for paying for the tab but everybody else.
While they checking their iPhones.
And I think that there has to be a line in the sand. Well, motherfuckers like, no. We have this foster care system. You got so many kids in foster care that can't get adopted because of this fuck-ass system that want to keep taking people who really want to do something to help these kids through. You got to run through razor blade hell and gasoline draws to get anything done. Shit, like she said earlier, by the time they finish fucking with you, the kid damn near aged out of damn foster care system at this point.
They send me through so much hell with this foster care shit. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm like, this is the kind of scrutiny they need to put the parents under. You got to come and check my house for this. You got to measure that. You got to test the water temperature here for this. Do this. Do that. See this worker. See that worker. Are you all monitoring the parents that want these kids back the same way?
That's what I'm
driving
saying.
Me crazy about having her here.
Thank you. The bitch who had a one kid that you take away, who has 2 kids that you take away, when they get ready to have, they tell you that they got baby number 3 on the way. Why you not over there sending them through all that shit?
None of it.
Why you not over there checking their outlets and making sure it's baby proofed and that you got enough rooms for all of this other people and all these extra people don't live there, and if so you need to know who they are and their social security number and this, that, and the other.
Yep.
Run their asses through all that shit, and I guarantee you motherfuckers will stop doing the shit because you're empowering them to do it.
They didn't even know she was pregnant till I told them today.
Because that's not a problem that they have right now. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be their problem. But all I'm saying is that there has to be a point where the line is drawn in the sand and it's enough is enough. And I bet you if you told somebody that if you don't knock this shit off, we're going to sterilize your ass. I bet you they'll think twice about that shit.
I'm all for human neutering.
Just like with the sex offenders, when they were forcing them to get those Depo-Provera shots.
Yep.
And they're like, look, we ain't going to cut your nuts off, but we're going to render them useless. This is going to be decoration. They just jingle bells.
Your dingleberries no longer work.
Right? They're just jingle bells. That's it. They just there for decoration. They're there to keep the shaft of your dick from getting cold. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But all I'm saying is that when they did that, motherfuckers was like, oh, but they thought that, okay, that's fine. But, chemical castration, is a very non-PC thing because people are like, oh, that's not fair. You know, you can't take people's rights to do this and you know, yeah, you got the right to have kids, but you don't have the right to make me responsible for them.
Right, exactly. And that's where the argument needs to be. See, most of the time people want to stay on the human rights and all, but that's where the argument needs to be. You do have the right to have children, but you don't have the right to be a burden on society. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the line is, because we are saying that people have the right to be the burden on society. I mean, you know, I get it with some people that fall victim to that. You know what I'm saying? But you're making a decision. You know what I'm saying? You're consciously deciding to be a burden on society because you know you're not going to take care of that kid. You know, and that should be something that you can't do. That's like telling you can come in my house and just spend my money and you ain't ask me. You know?
Right.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
If you can't afford to buy condoms, you can't afford to have babies.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, between the two of y'all need to be able to figure something out.
If the two of y'all can't buy no goddamn condoms, y'all need to go and just go play some tonk.
Yeah.
Go play tonk.
Something.
No, but you don't know how, you know, that sounds like a joke, but you don't know how simple math and how simple that is, that concept right there. Yeah. If we can't afford to do this, how in the hell, if this would result to something, could we afford to do what was necessary? You know what I'm saying? Something that costs $10, you know what I'm saying, versus something that you got to maintain forever.
Yep. But they're not thinking about that. Have sex. I'm all about sex. I love sex. I'm an advocate for it. It has a lot of health benefits. However, we all know that there are a lot of things that come from having sex. Babies being one of them. And if you having sex all willy-nilly, unprotected enough to have babies like this, then you may be contracting some other shit as well, because we don't know what them nasty motherfuckers over there doing, because if they running raw on you, they running raw on other people too.
Everybody else. Then you pass
not only are you not respecting your body, you're not respecting the home of this unborn child who didn't even ask to be put there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not sure. Like, you know, here's the thing. You know, Chan is like, you know, being a rapist is a crime. Having a baby isn't. I'm not saying having a baby is a crime. What I'm saying is criminal is the fact that you're laying up on the system and you're being a burden to me. You're still. You know what the crime is that you stealing my fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is the crime.
You stealing my fucking money. You picking my goddamn pocket.
That is. Yeah.
She's talking about some life is unfair. Yeah, for that child that keeps being, these children that keep being born to these fuckers who won't stop. Roxy saying condoms must be out of style. Well, you know what? This is something I don't mind being behind the trend on. I do not mind being behind the trend. I don't understand, and this is taking me into a different conversation that I wanted to have. I don't understand why people are having unprotected sex in this day and age in the numbers that they're having them. I don't get that. It's like fucking new crackheads. You know what crack does. You know what heroin does. How do you just now get started fucking doing heroin? Like, who fucking starts now, right? Like, you know, why does that work? Like, how do you not know after all the shit that we know about sexually transmitted diseases and pregnancy and so on and so forth? How do you have sex without protection? How are you becoming? I just don't get it. Does anybody understand that? Can anybody explain to me new crackheads or new heroin addicts?
Yeah. Everybody got to start sometime.
No, you don't.
Now, you see in the chat room, Chan says she pay taxes for shit she don't want to pay for every day, but we have no choice. And then Louis says people acting surprised when they wind up pregnant. You went raw. What you thought you were going to get a flat screen TV.
Well, here's the thing. We have no choice. We do have a choice. We can affect the laws that are being made to protect these fucking criminals from stealing our goddamn money. Here's the thing: if there was no money in it, they wouldn't be doing it. If there was no benefit to them popping out all these fucking kids, that's why you gonna see a drop in the cases of these motherfuckers that keep having these babies, knowing that if I had 3 kids already and I pop out this 4th one, they not gonna cover this 4th one. They ain't gonna keep fucking having these kids, cause they like, fuck it, I ain't getting all this money. Cause think about it, what y'all say, even when you do your taxes after 3 kids, it don't really matter how many you claim.
Yep.
The IRS figured it out. The IRS figured it out.
But what make you think they not gonna figure it out?
You know what I'm saying? It's like if the IRS figured out a way to not pay you for these extra motherfuckers that you just doing just because, then why can't the social services department figure that shit out? Rob, you look like you in deep thought.
No, I'm just listening. I mean, I'm listening that you change the world. You could have a big impact on our economic system here in America if you get that passed. Start sterilizing some motherfuckers.
Write a bill, girl. Write a bill.
Here's my thing. That's one cost. We sterilize you, poop, we done. We don't sterilize your ass. Guess what? You gonna keep pop. You like herpes. You keep coming back. You keep coming back. You keep coming back. Get rid of the shit. Just stop it. I'm just saying. All right, guys.
Yeah, I think you sterilize people and you start killing motherfuckers, and we'd be good. We got the 2 things we talked about.
Man, I'm just saying, it's been working for, because see, here's the thing. These are the weak links in society anyway. And then they raise the people who are going to be weak links in society. And they're not going to, you know what I mean? They just watering down society. So all I'm saying is the animal kingdom has been doing this for years. They kill off the weak. They get rid of the weak. If you have a litter and you got a runt or you got a motherfucker that's holding back the pack, either they kill you or they leave your ass for somebody else to kill. And that's what I think should be happening to these motherfuckers. We should not be coddling your asses. Someone says, ooh, no, get it together or die. That would be my campaign speech. Get it together or die. That's my slogan. Get it together or die. No, but no, seriously, we play devil's advocate here on the show. The views expressed here may not necessarily be those really of mine or of the show or Rob or anybody else's, but we have the conversation so that at least people can start looking at it in a different way. What'd you say, Rob?
Yeah, we have a conversation to put it out there, but a lot of this is obviously somebody's opinion.
Some of them are actually our thoughts. You just don't know what.
There's a few opinions came out tonight, though. Yeah.
Right, because some shit I meant.
Yeah, but I think, guys, the reason why we have these open forum shows is, one, it's fun and it's lighthearted, but it's also an opportunity for us to have those conversations that we can't talk about for 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? But we get a chance to talk about them. And more importantly, it involves you. You guys send these things in. You tell us what you want us to talk about. We're here because of you. We feel a need that the void that you guys have, that we fill it for you. So we have no problems with doing that. With that being said, we got a couple minutes left in the show. Quick takeaway that you want about anything that we talked about today, Rob, quickly.
Quick takeaway: examine the relationship between you and the other people, you and whatever it is. Just try to look a little bit deeper into why you expect what you expect from folks or out of a situation and what you did to expect that. Should you or should you not? You know what I'm saying? And then work on getting it the way you want it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's my takeaway or my giveaway. I want you to go with that.
40. Takeaway, giveaway. Which one?
Takeaway. Be accountable for yourself. Look at the lesson that you need to learn in whatever your situation is so that you don't have to repeat the same lessons over and over again.
And like I said before, get it together or die. Because that's what's going to happen to society as a whole. If we don't get it together, we're going to die off. You know what I mean? It sounds real barbaric or whatever, but the reality of it is that's what it is. The stupid people going to outnumber us. And they going to kill us all. All right. I'll tell y'all one thing before I got in here. Somebody asked me this question, and we're about to go. Somebody asked me this question I want to ask each one of you guys before I go. One thing you know for certain, Sporty.
That I'm absolutely adorable.
Rob, one thing you know for certain.
Life ain't fair. I heard somebody in the thing say some shit about it. It ain't fair. But that don't mean you can't win.
All right. The one thing I know for sure is that I don't know anything for sure. Shit changes all the time. With that being said, on behalf of our producer, Cousin Chan, our incredible invisible intern, number 3, Sporty Spunky Angel, the Rob Carter, I am your host, Miss Kiki, the consummate provocateur, and we thank you for another engaging conversation right here on Playing Devil's Advocate. Check us out next week. We have another great show lined up for you guys, and of course, it will be uncensored, unscripted, unapologetic. See you next week, guys.